Hi, everyone. I am here for another show. Welcome. Welcome to the Quest Show. I am Lana Quest. And hey, we made it through another week. Remember those times when, like, every single week was just so long and drawn out because Trump was the president? And now you kind of wake up in the morning and you don't feel this big lump in your chest. That's how I feel, like so much better. But anyway, welcome everyone. I was not here last week. Unfortunately, we had to put our dog Kobe down, our family pet, our family actually. And that took a lot out of me. I didn't think that it would. It happened on Wednesday. I thought I would be okay on Thursday, and you're just never okay. You're never going to be okay having to make um, a decision like that. It's almost like, taking someone off of life support. You know that it needs to happen. Kobe was 15 years old. He was the best pit bull ever. He was a lap dog. He was like a big baby. And, we tried as long as we could, but, it just got to a point where we just couldn't maintain living the way we were. Yeah. So anyway, we had to do it. Everyone is like, you'll feel better. Just get another puppy and, you'll just feel much better. But, there's no one going to be like Kobe. Kobe was just the best dog. But anyway, yeah, let's dedicate this show to Kobe. Kobe, this one's for you. Anyway, so we're going to get into the show. There is a lot to talk about. I have a lot of notes here, some of which I cannot even read, but we will get through it. But before we start the show, if there's anyone out there that is watching, please like this video. Please share this video. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hi there, Artie. It's good to see you too. I know, Artie. Thank you. Have you ever had a dog and you've had the dog for so many years and like he was 15 years old, and that is a very long life for a dog, and in particular a pit bull, that breed, and it just gets to a point where it's like old people get to a point where he didn't want to walk. He just kind of wanted to lie around. It was hard. And it is still hard because I'm sitting here and typically I can hear him while I'm sitting here. So it's weird not to hear him right now. But anyway, let's move on. Hey Mary, I'm just talking about Kobe because I'm still sad about Kobe. So that's where I'm at. But we're gonna get into some news. I don't know, what are we gonna talk about first? Let's go to the stuff that's not so hyped, and then we'll move up to the hyped stuff. So let's talk about the calm stuff first, which really isn't that calm. We'll talk about Texas. So remember in Texas, not too long ago, a group of Texas women and Texas doctors sued the state of Texas because of their abortion bans. They say that they were denied life-saving care. Some of the women were sent home to deliver dead fetuses. Some of the women actually became sterile from getting sepsis and infection, so they can't have children anymore. Um, there was one woman that had testified about, because Texas has that fetal heartbeat law. So if there's a heartbeat, even if the pregnancy is going awry, if there is a fetal heartbeat, they still will not allow you to have an abortion, the medical care that you need, as long as there is a fetal heartbeat. And the woman testified that it was just a horrific experience because she would go to the doctor, her GYN. She would go in there excited to hear a heartbeat and then sad all at the same time because she's sad because she didn't want to hear the heartbeat, but she wanted to hear the heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like it's an exciting thing to hear your child's heartbeat. But this child, not child, but this fetus cannot survive outside of the womb. So she didn't want to hear the heartbeat so that she could get the medical procedure. Like that, this is so traumatic. So these women testified about their experiences. And a judge last Friday actually found in their favor. So the lawsuit that these women brought wasn't actually to change the abortion ban law, but it was actually to get more clarity with the law and for women to be able to get the life-saving treatment, to like loosen those restrictions so that doctors can treat them properly and not deny them the care that they need. So that is why they sued. That is what they testified to. A judge last Friday granted that and agreed with the women that, we do need clarity on these laws. So the women were happy, they were celebrating. Again, it was not even to challenge the abortion ban. What it was to clarify the restrictions. What happens right afterwards? Right afterwards, the Texas Attorney General files an appeal. He's like, no, nope. Files an appeal with the Supreme Court, state Supreme Court. So now everything is on hold again. So that was like a short-lived victory. So, and my question is like, how cruel do you have to be? Right? After hearing these women tell, maybe they didn't even listen, maybe they don't even care. But these women are here testifying about their personal experiences, not something that potentially could happen, but their personal experiences. And the attorney general is like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you've lost your ability to have children. I don't care if you're carrying around dead fetuses. I don't care if you're a walking tomb. We're not changing anything. So this is Texas's stand. And it's crazy because this isn't helping Republicans. Like this is like the bittersweet for me too, right? One part of me wants Republicans to wake up and to change these laws so that women stop suffering, because women are suffering. Let's be real, they are suffering. So part of me, of course, wants that. But then the other part of me wants them to continue doing what they're doing, continue being cruel, continue all of it, all the way up until 2024, because we got you. Because we saw what happened in Ohio, right? So let's segue into Ohio. What happened in Ohio? So Ohio had a special election on, was it Tuesday? Is that August 8th? Yes, special election on August 8th. Here's the thing about Ohio. They don't like special elections. They haven't had a special election for 110 years. They banned special elections. Why were they having a special election, you may ask? Artie, Mary, why are they having a special election? Oh, they're having a special election because a birdie told them, you're losing on the abortion issue. They're going to get the abortion issue on the ballot and they're going to be able to vote on it in November. So you got to do something real quick. Cheat, because that's what Republicans do, right? Cheat. So they knew that it would get on the ballot because all you need is the majority of the people to do what you need to do, sign your petitions, vote, and then it gets on the ballot, and then Ohio votes on abortion. The state legislatures did not like that. So they're like, oh, nope, we're going to change the rules. We're not going to do you can do the majority, be the majority and get abortion on the ballot. You have to be like 60% or more. We want to amend the rules right now on how you get things on the ballot. Because you know how certain things you can get on the ballot, like legalizing marijuana. You can get that on the ballot and voting for it. Letting migrants get driver's license. You can get that on the ballot and vote on it. You can get things on the ballot. Ohio did not want their abortion ban. They didn't want anyone to be voting for this on their ballot because they know it's a losing issue. So what did they do? They tried to change the rules of the game to make it harder to get things on the ballot. So that happened on Tuesday. What did Ohio do? They spoke out. They told everybody. They got the word out. Democrats, their ground game was all over the place in Ohio. And Ohioans said no on issue 1. You cannot change it. They did it. They did it. Everyone, give Ohio a round of applause because that means a lot. Like first it was Kansas, right? Because Kansas did the same kind of thing. And now it's Ohio. And these are kind of, Ohio's like a red state, right? Is it red, purple-ish? Kind of red, trending more red than anything, and definitely ain't trending blue. So it's teeter-tottering on red, purple. Kansas is not blue, it's red, but it doesn't matter because the abortion issue is all women. It's not just a Democratic issue. It's not Democratic women only with like medical issues and problems and during pregnancy. So Ohio said, no, we're not changing the rules. And they came out and voted. They came out. I think they said 67% of that state came out to vote on Tuesday for a special election that Ohio tried to sneak in. They did. They held it when they held it because they thought people would be somewhere on vacation for the summer. And no, we're not. We're here and we're voting. So this kind of makes me think, if we did that in Ohio on this means that potentially Biden could win Ohio. If we came out to vote like this, why can't Biden win Ohio? He probably could, keep that ground game going. So that's what happened. Hi, Michelle. We're talking about our Ohio win. So that means that Biden can win Ohio. The Republicans out here playing this game. So yeah, so that's the thing. Like that, I feel guilty for wanting this to drag out until 2024. But I also know that we need all of the fuel that we can get. This issue is a driving issue, and Republicans are so dug in on it, they can't change. It's like they are what they are, and they are going to continue to push these abortion bans, and they are going to continue to lose on this issue. So Ohio did set some fire, and it's warning shots, and congratulations, Ohio. Good job there. So that was that. Let's go down the line. What else happened? I'm tired of talking about Trump, but some Trump stuff did happen. Ugh. So I wasn't on last week. I can't remember when he got indicted, but I know I did not talk about it because I wasn't on last week. So yeah, Trump is indicted again in DC. He hates it. The judge is going to be Judge Chutkan. Everyone appointed Chutkan. They loved her in the Senate, so everyone voted to appoint her. So apparently she's a good judge. She was appointed by Obama. But today, Trump hates her, and she's a racist because, of course, she is. And over the weekend, what did he say about her? Oh, no, not her. He said, if y'all help me with this, if you come for me, I'm gonna come for you, or just the stupid nonsense that he freaking posts. But Jack Smith takes these things seriously, right? Because we all know what he's doing. It's not, it's a it's not a veiled threat, right? It is a threat. Trump's not going to do anything because Trump is a coward, but he just wants just one of his crazy supporters to do something. That's all he needs, just one. And that is all he wants is just one. And that's why he says it, right? They're like, he's trying to win in the court of the public. Like, I mean, he's always going to win with his supporters. Like, it doesn't matter what he says. He's trying to, sully Jack Smith. He's trying to make the judge seem like, you know, uh, she's a bad guy and she's racist. And if they come for him, he's going to come for them. Just a nonsense. So Jack Smith was like, listen, right away, here's a motion for a protective order. Initially, the first hearing was going to be August 28th at the end of the month. However, because Trump has no impulse control and can't shut his mouth, they are going to actually have a hearing tomorrow on this protective order because it's a standard thing to have a protective order. No one fights back and forth regarding protective orders in criminal courts because if you're sharing discovery, you're not supposed to be sharing your discovery to the public. And typically, a defendant wouldn't want to do that anyway. Like, that's just something you don't do. But because Jack Smith is not dealing with a typical defendant, he has to protect the grand jury. He has to protect his witnesses. He has to protect these people because he knows, hey, if Trump put out Barack Obama's address, these witnesses, of course he's going to do that. I mean, he gave Lindsey Graham's phone number. Like, of course he's going to do that, right? So that is what they're going to discuss and hash out tomorrow. Typically, a judge would just grant it because it's a fucking protective order, right? And then Trump's attorneys are like, oh no, we have to go through this order line by line because he's a candidate and he should be able to talk about, what's going on. Like, it's just all nonsense. And we all know because we're all saying the same thing, parroting the same thing. He's trying to, stall this proceeding as much as possible. I cannot wait until August 28th because that is when we're going to know when she schedules this trial. We do know that it's going to be before the election because she's not going to like. Why? What's the purpose? This is kind of easy. Yeah, come on, Trump. Anyway, so that's what Trump did. Again, at this point, every time I talk about Trump, I kind of feel dirty. He is a punk, Michelle. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. 43% voted yes. Yes, if you come for me, yeah, I'm coming for you. But hey, guess what? He did talk to someone, didn't he? Because then you got that right-wing radical guy in Utah who was like, oh, wait, I got that back call. Like, they just hear whenever Trump calls them, their ears start prickling. They know. And this guy in Utah had a whole to-do list of who he was going to knock out. Like, I'm making a joke about it, but he had a to-do list. Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, Merrick Garland, Joe Biden, the Democrats. I don't know. Woke was probably on his list because I'm sure he wanted to kill woke too. Like, this is who Trump is talking about, right? Like, this is who is getting the bat signal. Trump throws out the bat signal and then somebody's catching it. And here we are. I didn't even look up his name. I don't care about his name. Crazy radical guy walking around with his MAGA hat on, talking about George Soros and all the other stuff and Bragg and just the parroting the Fox News and Trump and the lies just parroting the lies. It's like, it's so, I do a show on Tuesdays with Brian called Black and White at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Check it out. And Brian and I, we were talking about this, and it's just like, it's so maddening because here you have this guy who was in his 70s, who is dead now. Like, I don't feel bad for him per se, but I just kind of feel bad that he didn't get it. Like, he just has a steady diet of lies. And how do you know that what you're hearing is a lie unless you break out of that bubble? You just don't know. Like, it's all he's hearing. He's getting the emails. He's following his, because he's getting it from his politicians, right? And that's part of the problem. It's like, you're not, back in the day, with Reagan and all of the other Republican politicians that these guys loved and held dear, and Bush. Not that I liked them, but there was some respectability, right? Like, you knew that they stretched the truth because that's just what politicians do. You know that they massage the numbers. It's just what politicians do. You know that they kind of sell you pipe dreams. I'm gonna clean, the neighborhoods and rid the world of crime and just all of the stuff, right? We know that that is what they do as politicians, right? Some really work very hard to fix things. Some do nothing but talk. But we've never experienced politicians spreading conspiracy theories. That's the new part to all of this. That's the part that's fueling the violent part of this whole thing. It's the conspiracy theories, because it's not like it's just, and it's not even like conspiracy theories, flying saucers and Martians. It's conspiracy theories. Democrats are taking and eating the blood of children, and Hillary Clinton is a pedophile, and just to read, George Soros is funding Alvin Bragg, and I heard this week Biden was having an affair and his wife was killed in the car crash because she was storming out of the, like a whole story, like a whole soap opera, was storming out of the house and crashed when she heard about his affair with Joe Biden. It's just crazy where they get this stuff from. So here you have a man in his 70s that is so tapped in and so believing that Trump is like the savior for America, and America has just gone rogue, and that Trump is just innocent of rape and innocent of the phone call because I really wasn't him, and just without a shred of evidence, but really believes this. And now he's dead because the FBI got a tip from one of the social media platforms that I didn't hear. They're not saying it unless you guys heard it. I'm not sure what social media platform tipped off the FBI. So when they went, because Biden went to Utah today, so they went to do the arrest warrant. This guy's like, I ain't coming out, right? You got to kill me first. And they killed him. Like, okay, dude. Like, instead of you and your old ass fighting for your Social Security that Republicans are trying to take, now you ain't even got your Social Security because now you're dead. And it's going back into the pot. Like, how is that worth it? How is that worth it? Like, the family should be pissed at Trump, but they won't be. It'd be like Ashley Babbitt. That dude's gonna be a martyr. Come on now. I'm gonna give this until the end of next week before the Republican Party, whatever this guy's name is, starts like praising him. He was just trying to, save America. Right? He was just trying to save America, guys. Oh my God. Hey, let's take a break because I do have some quotes. They're old quotes, but I have a couple of quotes and I see that you guys are here. So let's play the game, right? Yeah. Woo. All right, let's do some quotes and questions. If you are watching and you're not in the chat, you can jump in the chat because I'm going to ask some questions or say some quotes, not verbatim, and then you have to guess who said the quote. So let's take a short break and we'll come back to the more crazy things, but we're going to break and play a game. Let's do that. If I can find my quotes. So fingers crossed, guys, because I did these quotes 2 weeks ago. And yes, because there was 1 week nobody was on here, so I couldn't do the quotes, and I wasn't on last week. So these quotes are really old. Again, if I can find my quotes, and if I can't, I'm going to blame all of you because I've had these quotes for so long. And see, we may not be able to do the quotes because I can't find them. Oh, I do. Here it is. Got them. How's everyone doing? Mary, how are you doing with all this crazy news? Oh my God, look at Pamela. How you gonna pop up here late? Yes, I'm about to do the quotes. Stop playing right now. Let's do some quotes. Quotes and questions. I don't have a lot of quotes. Don't kill me because these quotes are literally from 2 weeks ago. All right, first quote. I've come to like Trump and he likes himself. Who said that? He is a member of Congress. He begs for money for Donald Trump. And I don't know what else, what other hint I can give you on him. He actually made a phone call there to what's his face, the Secretary of State in Atlanta. I've come to like Trump and he likes himself. Who said that? And this was actually last week he said this. Oh, Artie says Graham. Any more guesses? We got one. We got Graham. Artie says Lindsey Graham. What say you, Mary? What say you, Michelle? What say you, Pamela? I've come to like Trump and he likes himself. We got 2 Lindsays. Okay, Michelle and Mary, are you guys on delay? Matt Gates. That's a good guess. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham got on TV last week again, saying how much he loved Trump, and he said he's come to like Trump and Trump likes himself. Yes, Lindsey Graham. Next quote. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us. Who said that? This was a couple of weeks ago. Like I said, been a couple of weeks. I've been holding on to these. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us. This was after Ron DeSantis said that enslaved Black people had skills. They were able to parlay their skills after enslavement. So, this person went out there and said they insult us in an attempt to gaslight us. Mary says Kamala. Ari says Schiff. Any more guesses? They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us. Come on, Pamela. Oh, let me give you a hint. Okay. I'll give a hint. She was a member of a sorority. She was a senator out of California. She is Black and Asian. uh, Come on. She Maxine Wall. Oh, that is a good guess, but Maxine's not a senator. So we got Kamala. We got two Kamalas. Yeah, Maxine ain't Asian. We have three Kamalas. Yes. Oh, where's Michelle? Michelle, you must be you must be behind. The answer is Kamala. My hints are atrocious, so I am sorry about that. And I think I almost gave the answer to the next one. The folks parlayed being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. Folks parlayed being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. Which governor said this? Folks parlayed being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. Who's parlaying them blacksmith skills? Who said that? Newsom in California said that slaves are parlaying their blacksmith skills. Okay, we got DeSatan. Already said Ron. DeSantis or DeSantis or DeSatan or DeSatan. Oh, no. No. This person said that the slaves parlayed being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. So we got one, the Satan, Mary saying Satan. Okay. Pamela, Michelle, did you go to sleep? All right. The answer is, because we got to move along, Ron DeSantis. Question: what state currently has let's see, what state is going through? I don't even know how to make the question because I'm making it up on the fly. What state is dealing with malaria and leprosy? What state? Malaria and leprosy. Bama. Pamela says Florida. What state is dealing with leprosy that I thought was eradicated a long time ago? What I don't know what's going on. And malaria. Wow. Now, Michelle, I am surprised that you did not hear this. Florida. Florida. 230 cases, 81% of the cases are coming out of Florida for leprosy. Why? To be vaccinating over there. They're anti-vaxxers. Now malaria is going through Central Florida like malaria, but leprosy is going through Central Florida like crazy. Google it. The CDC put a warning out. Leprosy. Watch out for leprosy. They don't mask. So it may get bigger than what it is right now. So if there's 230 known cases in America and 81% of those cases are coming out of Central Florida, they're not going to mask, right? So if they're in Central Florida, they should be masking because I think, if I'm not mistaken, leprosy is like transmitted through, I think, fluids too. Not absolutely sure, but ew. Leprosy. That's like, what are we in the end of times? Like, this is like so biblical. It's not even funny. It's kind of sick. Oh, did you know I'm leaving on my cruise out of Miami next weekend? Oh my God, girl. take your masks just in case. Don't rub up on nobody because I don't know. There's the pox still going around, and yeah, leprosy, malaria. Don't drink the water. It's like all of the things that I can say. Don't do the sexy with someone who has leprosy. Exactly. Don't do the sexy with anybody on your cruise with leprosy. You got to watch out for that. Seriously. Let's do one more quote. All right. If woke was such a big issue for DeSantis, he had 4 years to do this. He's just trying to get to the right of Trump. Who said that? The hints are Bridgegate, um, I don't know, Beachgate, Bridgegate, and he hates Trump. He is a former governor as well. I can't give you the state because then you're just going to know. If woke was such a big issue for DeSantis, he had 4 years to do this. He's just trying to get to the right of Trump. Who said this? Artie said Christie. Pam said Christie. Michelle, what you got? What you got? Mary said Christie. I think Michelle must be lagging behind everyone. It is Chris Christie. Yeah. Chris Christie's out here insulting. Trump doesn't even know how to respond to Chris Christie. And I don't even like Chris Christie, but just to hear him just kill Trump is it's gratifying, very gratifying. So what do you guys want to talk about next? There's a couple things we can do. You know what? We're gonna save this one for last. Let's talk about Prager University, shall we? Have you guys heard of Prager University? Does anyone know Prager University? Well, let's say this. It's not a university. Prager University is not a university. It is not a school. It was founded by Dennis Prager, the racist in chief, and they put out like these short conservative Christian videos, right-wing videos. Again, like I said, they're not a school. They haven't been approved by like any real educational organizations. Just whatever. Dennis Prager does a podcast talk show, like whatever. But apparently, the Department of Education in Florida like, hey, Prager U, y'all do radical right wing Christian 5-minute videos? We want those in our schools because we don't need Black history or any of that kind of stuff. Who needs that when we got Prager U? Come on, man. Let me give you a little history on Prager U. Dennis Prager founded Prager University. It's so funny. It's almost like they call these things universities so that people believe what they're saying. Like this is all a game. They're nowhere near a university. It's just some type of content creators who create these Christian videos, but they call themselves Prager University. It's like Trump University was not a university. It was like some online scam that he was doing. It was never a university. So they use these trick words to trick people into believing that it's something that they're not. What they're also tricking us into, well, not us into believing, but the crazy MAGAs is that Democrats indoctrinate children, but they are the ones that are actually indoctrinating children while saying that Democrats are indoctrinating children. Why do I say that? So Prager U has put out a couple of videos. If I knew how to do clips and shit, I would be doing it right now. But if you haven't seen the clips, please Google the Prager University clips. In particular, 2 clips. One is Christopher Columbus. Yeah, University of Alternative Facts. Absolutely. One is Christopher Columbus. There are two kids who are, I guess, doing some type of time traveling, and they time traveled back to Christopher Columbus, right? Christopher Columbus is there. He's got the bluish eyes. It's like a cartoon video, little video short. And Christopher Columbus is, talking to the kids about slavery and how, every corner of the world had slavery. And like, what are you going to do? It's better than being killed. This came out of the mouth of the Christopher Columbus that Prager U said. Like, this is what they're going to teach the kids in Florida. This video with Christopher Columbus explaining slavery to these kids, saying, hey, it's just a thing. Like, it happens. It happens on every corner of the world. And like, it's better than being killed. Like, this is what it actually said. And also about the indigenous. And it's like, they were savages before we got them, and now they learn Christianity, so everything is good. Like, this isn't indoctrination. How is it not? It's like all lies. But this is always the goal, to like minimize these things and give, like Pam just said, it's like a whole alternative reality. And this is what they're going to be giving Florida children. And it gets better, trust me. And then they have a fake Frederick Douglass in white voice, because it wasn't a black voice, but it was a white voice pretending to be a black voice, because that was very apparent. Frederick Douglass making excuses for slavery. Frederick Douglass, this is what they did. Frederick Douglass, in this little short video, is talking to the kids, and Frederick Douglass is basically saying, the founding fathers really did want to ban slavery, but they made a sacrifice. So they didn't ban slavery, and they decided that they needed to unite the states instead of banning slavery, because they really didn't want to do that. And then they had Frederick Douglass, who is an abolitionist, speaking against another abolitionist, saying, hey, you know that guy? I really don't like him because he likes to burn things. He's what we call a radical. And then the kids go, oh, we got those types. We got those types too. You know who those types are? Black Lives Matter. That's what they're talking about. Like, that was a dig on like Black Lives Matter or any movement that tries to push the needle. This is what they're going to teach the children in Florida. Good old Florida. Keep the kids uneducated, underpaid, with leprosy and malaria. That's not the Sunshine State anymore. That is Klan country. Like, for real, for real. And it's not even just what they're doing to Black history, right? Like, the bulk of it is Black history, right? But they're banning Shakespeare. Who bans Shakespeare? Like, this is just, it's out of control. It's like they're just doing it because they can do it. Like, none of it is making any sense whatsoever anymore. Apparently, Romeo and Juliet is too sexual. Oh, I'm going to read what you guys are saying. How is it that Florida educators aren't they are protesting. They're leaving the state of Florida. They're quitting. Florida right now has a shortage of teachers. That's why Ron DeSantis is like, I'll give bonuses to retired police officers to come into the classrooms, because they don't have any teachers, because teachers are afraid to teach. Teachers can't, even if they are gay and they are married to a man or a woman, they can't talk about their spouse because they may be indoctrinating children. If they say, if it's a man and he says, my husband, he can get in trouble if that child goes home innocently and tells their parent, oh, Mr. Brown There's two Mr. Browns. It's Mr. Brown and Mr. Brown's husband. And if that parent is an asshole and goes and complains, Mr. Brown's going to lose his job. This is what's happening in Florida. Like, you are banning Romeo and Juliet. So they're just going to teach excerpts. How? Like, you can't, the words, it's just hard for these words to come out because it's just like, Ron DeSantis and his failed campaign is like, he is so far behind Trump. He's like a little weasel. So he's just got to go into Florida and just like, just wield his weapons, right? His government, like just be in control. He heard that poll that he was like 50 points behind Trump. What does he do? He goes right back to Florida. He hasn't even been in Florida. Insurance companies are leaving Florida. 4 insurance companies in a year, right? Farmers just left. They got leprosy. They got malaria. They got 90-degree temperature waters. Just all of the things are happening in Florida. He's been campaigning. What does Ron DeSantis do? He comes back to Florida to do what? To fire a state attorney general, Black woman. That's what he came back to do, right? Because he needed to feel some kind of power, right? Because he's feeling powerless on the campaign trail. He's got little kids staring at him. He's like, "What you eating?" And it's like 1,000 degrees. "What you eating, little kid?" And the little kid goes, "An icy." Ron DeSantis goes, "Ugh, it's a lot of sugar in that, huh?" And the kid just stares at him. So he's like, he's failing with the kids too. He's failing with the adults. He can't even give them free beer. He's like, "Hey, beer for $1. Come have a beer with me." 24 people showed up. He couldn't even get drunks in New Hampshire to go get dollar beer with him. So because he's pissed about that, he runs back to Florida. What can I do to wreck shit? You know what? I'm sick of that woman anyway. Black woman, voted in by her constituents. 67% of her constituents voted her in. Ron DeSantis fires her. Black woman, Democrat, progressive. She's not tough enough on crime. So he got rid of her. And remember, last year, he got rid of another state attorney general. So he's just like reaching all into the state just to fire people. And nothing can be done because the other guy, I forget his name, the other state attorney general, he sued Ron DeSantis. And the judge said, Ron DeSantis was wrong, but unfortunately my hands are tied. Like, I can't go over what the governor has done. Just like this woman, she's not going to get this job. She's going to have to run again in 2025. She's got to run again. It's insane. It's just unfair and it's disgusting what they are doing. And it's like, on the state level, if you think that this is crazy, just a small indication of what they would do, what he would do. And he's the same as Trump. They're one and the same. We always say Trump, DeSantis is the same as Trump. Trump also is the same as DeSantis because they're actually saying and doing the same things, right? DeSantis is actually able to fire his political opponents or fire all the Democrats from these different jobs that they're holding. He can do that because he's the governor. Trump has aspirations to do that. So if Trump became president again, oh my God, I think I would probably get an ulcer or something. I would probably be eating Tums every day. Like, it would just be really bad for my soul and everybody else's soul. We'd just be walking around like zombies. But if he were, we know that he would pardon himself. But with that, he would do the same exact thing as Ron DeSantis. And he has actually said so, that he's going to fire everyone at the DOJ. He's just going to start all over. He's going to fire everyone. He's not lying. Before, when they investigated Hillary and they couldn't find anything, they're investigating Hunter and Biden and everyone's like, there's nothing. he's going to, he doesn't care. He's not going to care. He's gonna find something. He's gonna make some shit up. He's just gonna do stuff. So keep it going, guys. Like, this is keep the fire going, because these people are out of control. So that is what's happening in Florida. Pam, be careful. So the last story, it's not even a story, but we're just going to chat about this because I know all of you guys have seen what happened in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. You know, sometimes I'm proud of being born in Alabama because the rich history. Oftentimes I'm like, ugh, Bama, right? Like, ugh. But I was proud to see what I saw in Alabama. So apparently, if there's someone out there that didn't see these videos, but I doubt it, it's impossible to not have seen what happened. This happened in Montgomery, Alabama, which is the state capital, um, at a riverboat dock or something. So basically, a boat and a captain was trying to dock, and there was a pontoon in the way. And for 45 minutes, the captain had been on the public announcement system, the PA system, asking the pontoon, is that how you say it? I'm not sure, to move out of the way so that the boat can dock. 45 minutes. Witnesses heard it. Everyone heard it. They wouldn't move. They were hyped on the Kool-Aid that they got from Donald Trump. Not saying that they went to a Trump rally. I don't know. They probably was listening to it. I'm sure of it. But Trump was just in Alabama. So I'm sure that he got them hyped up. So they didn't move. So he, got on, I think, a smaller boat with his co-worker, a 16-year-old kid, to get over to the dock to ask them in person. If I'm getting parts of the story wrong, just correct me in the chat. It's like that sometimes. To ask them in person. So he goes to ask them in person, and he gets sucker punched, and he throws off his hat because he's like, oh, it's about to be a fight. And I didn't mention. So the people in the pontoon were all white because they were, hyped up MAGAs. And the ship boat captain was black. And he came to ask them, and they jumped him. Like, all of them. They just got off the pontoon and started hitting him and, whatever. Then the kid that came over with them on the boat, the 16-year-old, poor kid. He tried to jump in, little white boy. He tried to do something, and he got punched in the stomach. Like, what is wrong with y'all MAGAs? Anyway, that happened. There were so many parts of this video. There was video to like Sam Cooke, change is coming, when now his co-workers were like, oh, hell no, and came right to that boat and pulled them people off that boat, and a whole brawl erupted. Like, there were kicks and punches. It didn't matter if it was women. You hate to see it, but you love to see it, because what needed to happen is, like, what you're not going to do is the racism. We're just not going to do that. We don't care who your orange god is. We're not going to do that. It's ridiculous. I mean, they got their asses kicked. Like, they got the beat down. They thought they were tough, but they got the beat down because the whole community came out and supported that captain. I mean, to the point where a kid, or maybe a man, jumped off the dock and swam to a fight. How many of y'all ever seen somebody swim to a fight? And y'all thought black people couldn't swim. They can in the South. In the Caribbean, that's all they do is swim. They can swim. He swam right over there to help that captain out. I'm just going to read some of y'all's comments. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are talking about teachers, a little behind, pathetic. Santa's. Oh, the co-captain. It was the co-captain, the one who got sucker punched. They were in the park area until they saw him moving their boat. Deserved ain't even the word. It was the spirit of Ogun. I'm just reading the chat. They tried it in a small town. That's right. Yeah, they did. They tried it. They tried it. It didn't work. Try again. There's that. We're gonna say at some point we're gonna be like, and the old saying is, "Fuck around and find out." Right? Like that's our new saying right now. But in years to come, that's gonna be the old saying, and the old saying is gonna be "fuck around and find out." That's what they used to say back in the day. That's what they're gonna say in 20 years. Y'all fucked around and y'all found out. Y'all keep saying you want a civil war. You don't want a civil war. It doesn't make any sense. Like, because to be honest, or is it just gonna be MAGAs? Because it's not even gonna be. It's like, see, MAGAs are very confused right now. They don't really think things through. None of them are chess players. I heard a woman saying, if Trump goes to jail or if he's found guilty, there's going to be a civil war. Like with who? Because it's literally MAGAs against the whole rest of the world. Like this isn't a black and white fight. It never was. This isn't. Are the marginalized getting caught up in all this mess? Are black folks getting caught up? Brown folks? Indian? Of course we are. We get it the worst. But other people are getting caught up in here too. It's the queer folks. It's the allies, just the normal everyday people who just want to live, right? Like, so it's all of the normal people against what, 35% of the crazy MAGAs. Like, y'all don't want a civil war. Like, y'all, are you for real right now? That doesn't even make sense. You act like MAGAs are the only one with the Second Amendment. It's, come on. So love to see it, but hate to see it, right? Hate to see black and white people fighting because that's just ridiculous. But love to see black people getting a semblance of some vindication for all the racism, because you know what? Alabama is racist as fuck. They were out there saying racial slurs because, of course, they were. But it's Alabama, and the threshold for a hate crime is so high because that's all they say out there, right? Like it's Alabama. They throw the N-word around anyway. So you and I don't even think if you lynch someone you would be committing a hate crime. It's Alabama. Like you probably really gotta, it's like you gotta lynch, you gotta probably drag him in your pickup truck. You probably gotta do all kinds of things before it's actually a lynching a hate crime, because again, it's Alabama. So none of those racial slurs met the criteria according to the FBI in Alabama. I don't know what would have, but some guys got arrested. I think it was 3 when I last heard. I don't know how many now. Could be more, but they're all released. Nothing's gonna happen. Misdemeanor, and it's over. But I bet they won't do that shit again. They're not gonna do that shit again. Like what y'all thought. Come on. Anyway, everyone. Oh my God, 9 o'clock. I'm on time. That's amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. I dedicate this show to Kobe. Once again, rest in peace to Kobe. Thank you all for coming, and have a good weekend. Stay safe out there because it is crazy. Watch tomorrow because the judge is going to rule on the protective order. So we will and next week when we meet, hopefully Fannie has made a decision. So talk to you all later. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.